Hi, we're back to talk more about Freedom Force, the wonderful superhero game from Irrational Games. And I was talking about this character Freon to give you guys an overview of characters before we start really diving into the game. And I talked about his stats and why these are really good stats. Let's quickly mention these attributes. Fast healing. That's extremely good, because most superheroes don't heal naturally. That's one of the basic facts about combat in this game is hit points don't come back by themselves. They are a resource that you must carefully hoard, and there are healing canisters on the levels, but there's never enough of them, and you always have to plan for when and who's going to pick them up in order to get through the levels, because like I said, this game's hard. So fast healing is terrific. It's like having an extra 100 hit points, provided you can, get away and live long enough to actually heal back. This guy's very fast, so he's all right. But you'll see, let's see, here's the CP return. This is what it costs. 500. That's pretty costly. But fast healing's worth it. It's super good. Flyer. Flying obviously is a classic superhero power. You always felt you feel kind of sorry for the guys that can't fly when they're hanging out in the Justice League, and Batman has to be carried by Superman, or they have to ride in the Lantern's bubble or something. It's kind of embarrassing. So flying is very nice, and in this game it has enormous tactical use. Besides the speed bonus, and being able to get across the battlefield and avoid obstacles, and being able to reach tactically strong locations like sniper points, and it also lets you evade melee attacks, because if you're flying, then enemies that can't fly can't hit you with melee strikes. Heroic. Okay, hero points. Oh, they're so good. Everybody starts with a hero point. And the hero point can be used once per level. You can use it and then it goes away. You can use it to either fully heal yourself, or get all your energy back, or cure any status effects that you're afflicted by. Usually you use it for the hit points. But the tricky part is, and the hero points will save your life. It's almost like having an extra guy. But the danger, of course, you can't use it for healing if you're stunned. So if you get stunned when you have low hit points, you can use the hero point in order to get unstunned, but then it's gone and you're still at low hit points. So an extra hero point, of course, would be very handy. Well, here it is. But let's look at the cost. Ooh, $750. Very costly. Oh yeah, the flyer is a very expensive 1,000. But $750 for heroic, well, it's worth it, let me put it that way. Now, if I were trying to design a real powerhouse, like a real beast of a character, then I might consider going here, adding extra heroic, yet another hero point. Now, somebody with 3 hero points is pretty hard to take out. But this one, yeah, to get that extra one, it's even more expensive, another 1,000. But yeah, if you're building a powerhouse character, this is not a bad group of attributes. The thing is, you're only allowed to have so many. I think it's 5. Yeah, so if you take a whole bunch to start, then, well, you can't get them later. But these are a really good group. I'll probably drop the healing and the heroic when we build our more inexpensive version of this guy. And right there, that'll cut a lot off of his cost without giving up too much effectiveness. We'll probably want to keep the flying because it's just so darn powerful. Now, let's briefly look at his powers. I'm not going to talk too much about each one, but Ice Pick is Freon's main melee attack. If you look over here, you can see this is a melee attack. This is a protective power of some kind, a shield. This is a direct effect. Now this could be good or bad. This could be friend or foe oriented. But the key thing is that it's direct, which means it can hit someone from a distance, and it doesn't have to cover the intervening space. It's not a projectile or a beam. It just affects them, and it can go through walls and stuff. But let's talk about Ice Pick, a melee attack. All right. Look at this screen. Oh, this is one of my favorite screens in any game. There's so much here. Ice Pick, it's a melee attack. Its damage type is cold. There's a lot of different damage types, as you can see. The actual damaging ones, the first 8, crushing, piercing, energy, heat, radiation, electrical, acid, cold. Now those are directly, painful effects that drain your hit points. Piercing is, arrows or bullets. Heat is fire and explosions. Cold is freeze rays. So these are all ways to directly drain hit points. These other ones, though, here, look at all these different kinds of status effects. You can blind people. Hypnosis. Hex. Purgatory. That's like a banishment. Makes someone unable to do anything at all in the battle. There's all these different things. So much variety and diversity in the combat. Magnitude medium. Look at all these different settings that I can select for my power. This is what's great about this game. You have so much customization over the power. I can tweak its damage and find a balance between cost, effectiveness, and even how long it takes to execute can affect its value. What we want to do for our all-purpose utility core character is this is the most important thing that he needs. A very inexpensive, very strong melee attack. It's something that surprisingly, very few characters have. Very few characters have a high damage, cheap melee attack. And it's what's going to make this guy your favorite guy. It's what's going to defeat almost everybody. So, medium may not sound like much, but that's pretty good. Especially because it's going to go up as he levels and puts more points into this attack later on. Now, take a look up here at the prestige cost of the power. When I changed it from medium magnitude, 796, to high magnitude, 1388. See how much more it costs if I wanted to make this power even more damaging? That's why I had to stick with medium, because I can't afford 1400 on an attack. Energy point cost. Remember how I said that I could get away with the low energy stat? Well, here's how. I have it set to trace, which isn't none. It does cost energy, but it costs a very, very small amount. So small that it almost regenerates faster than it's spent. I figure most of the time, if you're at full energy, then, why not be at a little less than full? And make use of the fact that your character continually regenerates energy. So I made it a trace cost. He's gonna be using this attack almost all the time. Stun. Very, very important. That's the other part that makes this so effective. And low doesn't sound that good, and especially considering how high I could make it. But actually low is plenty, because he'll be attacking so often that you don't have to stun with every blow or every third blow. You only have to stun guys once in a while, and then they're stunned for a while, and you're okay. Pretty soon they're dead. I didn't give it any knockback, partly to keep the cost down, and partly because knockback can actually be inconvenient. It can put a guy out of your reach. But I did give it a very high swiftness, so it doesn't miss. How difficult it is for the target to dodge. Swiftness is important. No arc, well, that means it only hits one guy. I could make it hit everyone within melee range, or just everyone in front of me, but no, one enemy is enough. And finally, let's look at the animation. So, there are only a few choices. It's pretty limited. It'd be neat if there were 20 different animations, but this game's, you know, got some limitations. Of course, the expansions and the fan-made material does add a lot of freedom. I chose Melee 1. Let's look at them. Okay. See, this one is animated as a kick. It doesn't matter what it looks like, but what it does matter is the start time, total time, and number of contents. If you watch the Prestige, as I change Melee, as I change animations, you'll see this one costs a little more because it's a little faster. Whereas this one, pretty slow. That one's also fast. Okay, so they're all fairly close. It's not a huge difference in this case, but that is a way to tweak the cost of a power. And you'll sometimes find that you just want to tweak the cost by, say, 8 or 10 points. That's a way to do it. Well, I think that's going to have to be it for now. And maybe next time we'll start with actually building the guy. Or maybe, what the hell, we'll just jump in and meet Minuteman. Alright. Thanks a lot. Turner Jer, Freedom Force. See you soon.